What's going on? This is Marcus, and in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I finally decided to do with my cash back. I had a few options, so just going to give y'all an update what I'm going to do with my cash back from my credit cards. Before we get started, if you're interested in following my debt-free journey and learning about finance, I definitely invite you to subscribe and click the like button because it'll help the channel grow. And I also want to give a shout out to my guy John over at Bank Account Bonus Central. I talked about this channel before, but essentially what happened was I found this guy who made over $13,000 last year in bonuses for opening bank accounts. So it was really intriguing. I had an opportunity to do a collaboration with him, and it was essentially just he and I talking, shooting the breeze, talking about finance and questions related to my debt-free journey. I'll put the link to his channel below, but if you're interested in ways to figure out how to make some free money from opening bank accounts, check his channel out. I actually got an account open that's pending to see how long it takes me to get the cash, and I'll report back on it. It may be a video that John and I do and we'll post on this channel, but definitely check out his channel if you're interested in finding out how to make money from opening bank accounts. Now, back to the video. So, last month I did a video where I used my credit card for every purchase that I could to see how the cashback benefits worked and would play out if I made my payment at the end of the month and paid the entire balance off so I didn't accrue any interest. I'll put the link to that video above so you all can check it out. But essentially, now the question comes, what do I plan on doing, or what's the best and most effective way for me to use my cashback bonus? So my first option was thinking about using it for purposes of travel. We're actually trying to plan a vacation for the end of this year. Hopefully the whole Rona situation dies down. So that was option number one. But I just didn't see the benefit in doing that because our plan is to cash flow this trip, so it's not going to be any debt associated with the trip. But I just didn't think that using that money for a trip that I already kind of had budgeted would be the best use of that money. And so the other option I thought about, well, I could just use that to apply to my credit card payment, but I pay the balance off every month, so I didn't think that that would maximize it. So until it hit me, it hit me, and I had a bright idea from checking out some of my other favorite YouTubers out there. Hey, before I even go any further, there's just so many of y'all whose journey I like checking out, whose videos are just motivating and push me to do my debt-free thing and continue to invest. So props to you all. There's just so many to name. Brina with a Twist, love her page. My guy Harlan D. White, love his page. Camden David, love his page. Mommy Trader is the goat of trading. She has a great page. Playing Your Life with Britt, my homegirl. I mean, there's just so many pages out there. I feel bad that I don't have the time to name all of them, but I definitely get motivated from watching y'all channel, so I appreciate it. Now, back to what I was saying. So, I was thinking, what is the best way for me to use this and capitalize it? And so, one of the reasons why I have a philosophy of if you aren't over leveraged with debt, you should pay off debt and invest simultaneously if you can even put a little bit amount, because I understand the time value of money. And in my next video, I'll go in depth talking about the time value of money and investing. But I thought to myself, I'm going to take that money and invest that money solely my credit card reward bonuses just to see how the return plays out at the end of the year. I think that'll be, it'll be a good opportunity to see how much money I can make solely using those bonuses from my credit card rewards. And then at the end of the year, I can compare the number that, hey, my credit card rewards paid me X amount, I invested this amount in whatever it was, and this was the return at the end of the year. So I thought that there would be a great experiment to be able to do that and see how it plays out. Now, on this channel, I'm an advice guy. I like to give advice. You'll never see me recommending a stock to pick because, I want to give you advice on what are stocks and how to research stocks, and you can make your own decision. But here's the story that made me decide to do this, right? Of course, my wife wanted to see something that was on HBO Max. And it wasn't even something that was good like Wonder Woman or all the movies that was out. It was something that I thought was a little silly. Like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion that's only on HBO Max. And so I thought, oh man, HBO Max is $14.99 a month. I'm not about to pay $14.99 a month for HBO Max to see old ass Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunite with all his other old co-actors. Like, I don't know, I just thought it was crazy. And so, of course, when I looked, I was like, okay, AT&T owns HBO Max through its Warner Media Group. So, how much is the stock for AT&T? Well, the stock for AT&T is $29 and some change per share. So, $29 and some change per share to own a piece of AT&T, who owns HBO, low cost. But the bigger thing is that AT&T has been paying dividends on this stock for about 35 years, and their dividends has increased, I think, over the past 15 to 20 years based on my research. And so the first thing I thought is, well, I'm not going to pay for HBO Max at $14.99 a month, $30 for 2 months, when I could just use that to buy a share of AT&T stock. So that was kind of how this idea came into fruition. So this is kind of how the breakout of the investment plan is going to go. The first thing that I'm going to invest in is cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I'll tell you, I was late to the party, even though I was hip to Bitcoin years ago, but I was just late to the party. So I finally dove into the Bitcoin market. Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm not messing with the Dogecoin. I know some people out there who, hey, making some money doing it, but nah, I'm Bitcoin and Ethereum, and probably Litecoin, but those are really the only three that I'm looking at now. So some of this credit card rewards money is going to go into Bitcoin. Another portion of it is going to go into an ETF. And so this is where I have a FOMO, or fear of missing out. I don't want to miss out on the Bitcoin thing, so I'm going to put money into the Bitcoin thing. I don't want to miss out on cannabis stocks as well. I think cannabis stocks are something that are going to boom in the future. So there's a lot of ETFs out there that are solely cannabis related ETFs, and only have companies within those ETFs that work and make money in the cannabis market. So Bitcoin, an ETF that's solely cannabis related. And then the third part of that I'm going to put money in is to individual solo stocks. I'm normally a fund guy. I don't have many individual stocks, but I'm going to open up an account and focus solely on individual stocks that are dividend paying. So that is where this experiment is going to go. I'm going to use 3 forms of income to fund these investments. I'm going to use the cashback rewards from my credit card purchases every month. I'm going to use any money that's left over in any budgeted expense. For example, if we have $40 under on groceries, that $40 is going to go into one of these particular investment accounts. And this is separate and apart from the regular investments that I always do. So the 3 ways that this is going to be funded is, 1, through my credit card rewards points. Any area in the budget where we're under for the month, I'm going to use those monies to put towards this investment fund, whether it's Bitcoin, the cannabis ETF, or a single stock that's solely dividend related. And then the third area is going to be with my discretionary money. And I'll tell you, with my discretionary money, essentially, I'm working from the crib, so I'm not having to go to lunch. And that's the one thing too about being an attorney. Like, everybody always want to go out to lunch all the time, but I'm not going out to lunch. I'm not traveling. So most of the times I've been able to kind of save that money and set that money aside. But for purposes of moving forward, and I think it's a better use of that money, instead of saving it for something that I think I want, or potentially paying off debt, because I do have a good percentage of my gross income going towards debt, I'm going to kind of use some of my discretional money to add to those investments as well. So that money that I've been stashing away over last year, I kind of use that to get all of these accounts started. And so at the end of the month, I'm going to have a check-in to see how all of these investments are doing. Essentially, at the end of the month, we're going to have a check-in to see how the Bitcoin thing is going, how the single stock portfolio is growing, and how any other investments that I'm going to spin off based on this conversation we're having are going. And I'm also going to do an emergency fund update just to track the progress of with the emergency fund funding, how that's going so far for the year 2020. So that's essentially what's going to be going on moving forward. I think that was a smart use of money. I wanted to get into the crypto, the single stocks, and the cannabis ETF game, but I didn't want to use any money that was being allocated towards the debt. But I do have a question, and I want just give me a short comment in the comment section and let me know how this works out, okay? So me and the wife had a conversation and we were talking about what to do with our discretionary money, right? Now me, I don't hardly spend mine. She spend hers, and I know what the issue is. What the issue is she'll take like my daughter to dance class, and while she's sitting there waiting in dance class, I love her, but she don't have the capacity to just sit in the car for 2 hours and wait for my daughter. So she'll end up at, I don't know, one of those stores, Marshalls or something, even buying a little garment or something for the house, like a mirror or something to that effect. And so yeah, I remember she came home with a mirror and she was like, look, I got this mirror, and it's a tall ass mirror. And I'm thinking like, oh man, that's a great mirror. I was like, well, what we need this tall mirror for? We ain't even going anywhere. Like, I don't know. I thought it was an unnecessary purchase, but it's her money to do what she wants. So here's where the debate started, and this is where I need your opinion, YouTube family, because I'm pretty sure I'm right, but give me your thoughts. Okay, so if me and her, for example, let's say she has $200 as discretionary money at the month, and I have $150 as an example, right? She does whatever she wants with her discretionary money. I decide to invest my discretionary money into all the things that I discussed during this video. Now, here's where it gets interesting, okay? That money that I invested, which was originally my discretionary income, let's say I put it all in Bitcoin over a 3-year period, and Bitcoin goes to $400,000 for one Bitcoin. So my money quadruples over that time. Who is the rightful owner of that money that made profit? Now let's take the legal nuances out of this. I know this, hey, marriage, community property, I know the legal nuances, but let's just be realistic here, all right? We ain't going nowhere. If I invested my $150 a month, she did whatever she wanted to do with her $200 a month, 4 years down the road, my investment is worth $80,000. My view is, hey, I reserve the right to do whatever the hell I want with the money. And that's, hey, if I want to use it to go just buy something stupid and blow it all, I can. If I want to use it to take the family on vacation, we can all enjoy the fruits of it. It's up to whatever the hell I decide to use it for, because that was my personal money that I used for my investment. Now, we know legally, hey, everything is 50-50, I get that. But this was kind of the question that we had, and we just kind of tossed it out there. And right now, it's not really an issue because that investment hasn't grown to $80,000 yet. But let me know what you all think. I think that, hey, if I get 80 stacks based on these investments 4 or 5 years down the road, I reserve the right to blow it if I so choose. Now, will I do that? I probably wouldn't blow it, but I reserve the right to blow it if I so choose. Whereas her philosophy was, oh man, we made some good investments. I don't know. So let me know what you all think. I appreciate you all tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. Y'all take care. Peace.